Hello everyone, this is JC Sorrell, a Patreon patron and content creator for the Nintendo Dads. Thank you for tuning in to this review of Goodby Deponia, released on the Nintendo Switch December 23rd, 2019. We'd like to thank publisher Daedalic for providing us with a review code. Goodby Deponia is a point-and-click adventure in the style of classic LucasArts games from the 1990s. The story is about, well, I don't really know. Goodby Deponia is the third entry in a four-part series, and the developers assume you already know what is going on based on the prior games. It's chock full of inside jokes that I'm sure would be funny, but having no background or catch-up as part of the story, they all kind of fall flat. It's also not entirely clear who the protagonist is or what he's doing. It launches with you on a sort of monorail escaping from the capital B bad guys, one of whom happens to be a doppelganger of your character. You exploit that likeness in your adventure, but I'm not sure why I'm escaping, what I've done wrong, or what I'm trying to accomplish. The art style in the game is really beautiful and eye-catching, especially when the scene is still. There are a couple problems with how movement starts in a scene and the rate at which text appears. It can be rather jarring and sort of snaps you out of the experience. For the gameplay itself, it tries to do as many favors as can be done in a classic point-and-click adventure game. One of my constant frustrations in these types of games, particularly the older ones, is not being clear what on earth I can interact with in any scene. The right joystick lets you flip through all the objects that you can interact with in the scene, which is very helpful. However, one thing the game is unwilling to do is give you crystal clear clues on what you're supposed to do once you obtain all those items. It devolves into button mashing, where you try to use every object in your inventory to cause an effect to allow you to progress. Someone makes a comment about having dandruff. Obviously, I'm supposed to know that I should combine the knife in my inventory with a fish I found in a trash can to make scales, which then stand in for dandruff when I dump it into the hood of his cloak. Sure, I guess, but never would have figured that out but for button mashing out of desperation. I want so badly to be able to play these games without a walkthrough, using my skill alone, but it seems like an impossible feat in this genre, and this game is not willing to challenge that convention. I think I could get past all of those issues and enjoy the game, except from what I can see in the game as glaringly bad characterizations of men and women and their interactions. As a dad, I would not want my daughter to play this game, nor my sons to play it and expect that this sort of behavior is acceptable. The protagonist is a cad, sarcastic and egotistical, and rather than being funny, he just makes me not like him. Even that could be forgiven, but for the treatment of women. The protagonist's girlfriend's name is literally Goal. It does not come across as the apple of his eye or anything romantic. It's simply an objectification. At one point, in escaping from the monorail, Goal's clothes are ripped off, leaving her in her underwear for absolutely no meaningful reason. Not a storytelling device, it's just a crane and a rope that grab the clothes. This sort of sophomoric humor may have passed in the 90s when the games Goodby Deponia was modeled on were released. However, today, after the Me Too movement, it simply comes across as crass, lazy, and unacceptable. As an employment lawyer myself who regularly deals with serious sexual harassment issues, it's just repugnant and squashed the game for me. There may be an audience for this game, but it's not me. We'll let Goal wrap up my feelings about the game.
Junk. Acrid smoke. Hey, wait a minute.
Thanks so much for listening to this review. We hope that you catch the Nintendo Dads every week. You can see them on YouTube or your favorite podcast player, even on Twitch. See you next time.